Being a Samsung fan in India is a roller coaster ride. Some year it's surprising, some years you're confused, but all the way there has been one demand from India.
We want Snapdragon. We want Snapdragon. Give us Snapdragon.
While people are getting crazy about the S25 Ultra series, my favorite has always been this compact, tiny S25. And I know India is most interested in this. Well, while you're wondering what's the difference between S24 and S25, for starters, the major difference is you get Snapdragon this year. Now, how much does that change camera, performance, etc.? We'll see into all of that. We'll also compare some camera samples with the iPhone 16. So this is Prateek, you're already watching TechVisor. We are trying to push better, useful videos this year. Like it motivates us. Now we have both the S25 and S25 Plus. Samsung didn't specify a lot of hidden differences between the both. So we'll talk about S25 Plus at the end. But first, let's get to the S25. We also have the S24 with One UI 7 beta. So overall, I feel there are 4 points of differences this year. Now I loved the S23 as well as S24 due to the compact form factor, and they still somehow managed to make the S25 even slimmer and lightweight. The S25 is about 0.4 mm thinner, which is really hard to notice from your naked eyes, but the weight is reduced by about 5 to 6 grams. On the front, things remain unchanged. You get a 6.2-inch dynamic 2x AMOLED display. In fact, the display protection is the same. You get the same IP68 water resistance. Now, the major changes where you'll see is performance. The base variant of S25 now comes with 12GB LPDDR5X RAM and 250GB UFS 4.0 storage. And of course, you get Snapdragon 8 Elite for Galaxy. But all these hardware changes, how does that improve the S25? See, we ran Geekbench first, and there's a huge difference between S24 and S25. Heck, even it performs better than the iPhone 16. I mean, what times? Android just easily beats the iPhone in performance. I guess they're still optimizing the performance for iOS 69. Now we also did 3D Mark stress test, which actually challenges and stresses the smartphone like a proper gaming test. We also did CPU throttling test, and the performance is decent. Samsung does seem to have improved the vapor cooling chamber this year by 15%, but you have to do that every year if you put a powerful processor. Now, there is some problem with Antutu benchmark because the scores in Antutu are way off. We'll definitely revisit this in the full review. Also, if you have any questions regarding the S24 or S25, go ahead, we'll answer all of them for the first 1 hour. Now, we did play some games on it, like I tried Genshin Impact for some time. We even played CarX Street, which is an intensive game. Now, the phone did get hot, but the performance and frame rates were good. So if you compare last year's S24, at least for India, there is definitely 40 to 50% performance improvement this year on the S25. Now, these performance improvements show up majorly in camera this year. Like, the camera is unchanged this year. You get a 50 megapixel main camera, 12 megapixel ultra wide angle, and 10 megapixel 3x telephoto camera. And we saw with the S24 and S25 Ultra, like Samsung has worked a lot on skin tone and noise control this year, so same is the case here. And right off the bat, you see you get much lower noise levels on the S25. The images appear a bit sharper. Like, see this photo of me, if I zoom into my face, there's that natural sharpness. And due to shutter lags, sometimes in low light, the S24 gets the shot blurry. Whereas if you see in S25, the same Renal shot appears sharper and better. Same is the case with videos. In low light or even in indoor light, the difference in noise levels is a lot visible. Now, in terms of skin tone, I took some photos side by side with the iPhone 16, like have a look. Now, the photos are either on par with iPhone 16 and at times better. iPhone has this tendency of making the Indian skin tone yellow, and Samsung this year has started processing the background and subjects separately. In a lot of photos that shows up, the skin tone is more accurate rather than iPhone just making the whole scene yellow. Also, this year due to Snapdragon 8 Elite, the preview screen of the S25 has much less grain and the color looks exactly accurate to the final output of the photo. And this difference becomes much more visible when you take it in low light. Like the other day, I was randomly taking portrait photos of Dinesh, and if you can see in the screen recording of S25 Plus, the blur already shows up in the viewfinder of the camera before you have taken the photo. In S24, it's just plain. And these small improvements help you to understand how the final output of the photo will be. Now, a couple of additions that I found this year, you get a smooth zoom slider when you are recording videos. So the switch from ultra wide angle to the main to the telephoto camera is very smooth. Also, you get the option to record in log videos just like the S25 Ultra. And this log video recording works even in normal video mode. And here's a really cool thing. Suppose you accidentally recorded the footage in log, you can just go to gallery, swipe up, select color correct, and it will color correct the footage on your phone. So if it happens by mistake, you don't need to transfer the log footage to your laptop to correct it. Now, overall, due to the processor, first impressions, the S25 takes less noisy and a lot naturally sharper photos than the S24. Now, the biggest change this year is One UI 7. I believe One UI 7 was the most feature-rich software, but this year they have also worked a lot on animation and aesthetic. Aesthetic. Now you pretty much get all the AI features from One UI 7 on all S series. Now I've been using Gemini for quite some time. Like the other day, I asked Gemini, add all India versus England T20 matches in my calendar.
Do you want to go ahead and create them right now?
Yes.
Okay, everything's done.
See, now Gemini understands that there are only 2 matches remaining from the India versus England series and it adds only 2 of them. Done. Now whenever the match starts, my phone reminds me. This is me doing Google search and then adding stuff to the calendar. It combines 2 apps and 2 actions into just one voice command. In fact, whenever the match starts, it sends the notification to this now bar at the bottom. It feels like the phone kind of understands what I need before I tell it. And I like this nav bar. If you turn on map navigation, it even tells you the direction on the nav bar. Very handy if you're driving. Also, you can convert any photo into an AI avatar, and the drawing assistant has gotten smarter now. Like, see in this image, it can make an avatar of Gaurav, but if I try to make an avatar of Cyan, it denies because she's holding a gun in hand. So what's happening is the AI last year we saw on smartphone was still training and a bit like 2-year-old who knows everything but yaps. But this year it's growing and it's learning very fast. Now that doesn't mean it's perfect, and sometimes it glitches out. But overall I would say AI is pretty legit in smartphones this 2025. Now, the S25 Plus carries more or less the same internals as S25. It comes with a bigger 6.7-inch QHD Plus AMOLED display. The resolution of S25 Plus is similar to S25 Ultra. Another hidden feature is the Pro Scaler that sharpens image and text on display is present on S25 Plus. Again, the S25 Plus carries a bigger 4900 mAh battery and it comes with 45-watt fast charging like the S25 Ultra. The S25 has a smaller 4000 mAh battery and it can only charge at 25 watt. Now, it did daily drive the S25 and here are battery screenshots. On a mix of Wi-Fi and 5G with always on display on entire time, we were getting like 3.5 hours of screen on time. If you turn off AOD, you will get close to 4.5 hours. Now, if your usage is mostly outdoors on 5G, you'll need to charge the device twice. This is something you have to keep in mind with a compact device. Rest you get wireless charging on both the S25 series. Now, overall, after using these phones, what I felt is, see, the S25 starts at 80,999 this year. You get 10,000 bank discount and exchange offers. So the price is more or less the same as last year. You also get more RAM and more storage this year. The S25 Plus starts at 99,999. So here's what's happening. The S23 with Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 was a good option last year. People were skeptical on S24 due to Exynos. But this S25 brings Snapdragon back and mostly performance improvements over S24. And there are AI features which, going by Samsung's history, they'll mostly provide it to the S24 as well. So this S25 is more or less a performance and Snapdragon update over the S24. So we tried to share as much as we could in this video. Let us know if you want to see a comparison with other smartphones. On that note, this is Pari signing off. See you in the next video. Pew, pew, pew.